think for us, we're the organic farm and biodiesel program here are both fairly new. So we've been in a major growth phase the past 3 years, and we're still. Speaking of the organic farm, we're on sort of a 5-year track to grow to where we want to be, and within that time period, there are a lot of different projects that we have in mind of how we're going to develop this program. So myself and the farm manager, we're constantly thinking about, well, we have a list of projects, and then if we see a funding source come along, we actually kind of try to sit down with that list of projects and say, well, which ones might we want to spend some time working on this year? And then from there, knowing that the seed assistance grants are targeted towards local businesses that are sort of in their startup phase as well, we then say, okay, well, is there a local business in the area that might have an interest in this sort of project? And so that's how we came up with Solar Tech of PA. It's a fairly new business. Keystone Biofuel is also a fairly new business. And then we said, okay, let's focus on a project. Out of the list of things we might be doing, let's try to work with one that is likely to be satisfactory to those guys as well.
So had you already met those guys at a meeting, so you kind of had them in your possible company list?
Absolutely.
And then you called them back and said, hey, we found a potential opportunity.
Right. We actually had for example, with Solar Tech of PA, I could call up Greg Hess on the phone and pretty comfortable relationship already, just because we both know what each other is working on, and we've talked about working together in the past. And so this time it came around and we said, well, hey, we've got this idea and we'd like to bring you in as a partner on this project. We started off with just a phone call and then followed up with an email and actually sort of a sketch proposal. When we got their backing on it, then we went ahead and wrote up a full proposal.
So it sounds like patience and the right expectations that you might meet somebody in January of 2008 and the right project doesn't roll along until 2009, but you have that list of people that you've pinged or kept in touch with, and so then you've been able to follow up and have that list. So it's the expectation that not everybody you meet is going to want to sign on and do a project with you or work together right then and there. I mean, and on the flip side, from the faculty side, you all have teaching schedules and all kinds of activities that you're involved in, so it may be that you're not available when the business wants you to. So, I mean, we've seen that at ITN as well.
I think almost think that would be threatening to jump on somebody in the first meeting and say, hey, I got this project, let's get together. Whereas to sort of develop a relationship over time and then kind of have that in your back pocket is nice for when something does come up. We say, well, let's work together sometime, and here's an opportunity. So.
Yeah, I agree with Matt. Build trust and develop that relationship. Generate, if you're a faculty member, generate a lot of preliminary data that is convincing, and then you can approach. And as you build the trust over a period of time, and you are already working on the project, definitely people would be interested to discuss further with you. But lacking that preliminary data or anything, you just approach someone, they may be skeptical. So keep generating, keep working on the project, and then at the right moment you can just contact them and just continuously keep in touch. That's most important. I've done that all the time. Whether a company gives me the money or not, I've stayed in touch with several companies, and a year later suddenly they come up with a large project. So it's been very helpful. So.
Well, I remember that first meeting with Brian and Jim, and we were talking about, and the more we talked, we had the same goals. We have this one planet, we have a climate crisis, we got to do something about it. They can, we have ideas. We're pulling in the same direction, and I just kept sitting there and thought, wow, these guys have the heart in the right place, and that synergy, the ideas, the parallelism between these ideas was just there. And, and I thought, well, they want a wonderful best project for Pennsylvania, as they described their collector, not just here, but stainless steel powder coating, all that stuff, the deluxe, the Porsche collector, and as we talked about it, we can make that even better. And so we just, even at our very first meeting, we saw how we could make something out of this connection. Um, and you know, as Brian said before, there is this kind of a trust issue. You have this feeling. You say, okay, wow, what a privilege to meet these people right now here in this place. And so here I got to credit ITN, who made us this year find a business partner first. I'm not sure, some of you might know or might not know. In past years, it was optional to find a business connection. And here, what was in the past year, remember the dental crown and bridge remover, which beautifully removed temporary teeth, but not the real thing. And it was too late, you know, because that was after the fact. We had our prototype, and then it didn't work. But now, to do this at the beginning, to make the business connection at the beginning, what is it that you really need? What are the problems? And then you can exactly take your idea and dovetail it with the needs. And it's destined to work then.
Well,
So thank you
Hans is saying. Yeah,
for making that requirement. I talked to Jill a couple weeks ago, and I thought, you know, first you think there's an extra requirement. No. My immediate next thought was, but that's exactly what we need. That will make it work. So the ultimate goal is, you know, to come up with a product that will work, which is then a win-win situation for the company, for the faculty member, and thanks to ITN for to provide the mortar in between.